Wait. It's okay, baby.
Baby, it's okay, baby. Come here. Come here.
No, you guys are barking way too much at me. Oh, man.
Come here, babies. Come here.
Welcome
to another episode of Driving to the Res with your favorite hosts, Larry and Larry.
Now we got it.
We got it.
We're working on our consolidation. Did it work?
It worked really nice, I think.
I think it sounded fine, but
I think so too.
It's like a merge.
It's a merging.
Right. We're merging our podcast topic a little bit with our newsletter also.
Sometimes. Yeah,
for today. And maybe next week.
Maybe next week too.
Next week's newsletter is extraordinarily helpful for remembering your prime purpose.
Yes.
And this week's newsletter is extraordinarily important for
embodying your high frequency nature. Tools.
It's one of the tools for embodying your high nature.
Yes.
High nature?
High frequency nature.
Golly, honey, turn the knob down a little.
It's going to start state again. Oh my goodness.
You noticed probably, I don't know.
No.
I started this by talking quite a lot and then I slowly lost my words again. And then I didn't have words, and then the words that I did have, they don't mean much. They don't match together. Mumble jumble a little bit.
Mumble jumble.
So,
yes.
Probably one of the sigils, right?
A sigil, yes. So this week...
One of the sigils might help with that.
So, on our newsletters, right? And if you're... Oops, sorry. You should be subscribed to our newsletter right by now.
Right.
Look in the show notes where to subscribe to our newsletter and Substack.
Yeah, we put our newsletter on a Substack also.
Subscribe Star.
And on the Substack, you can listen to Inelia be reading.
YouTube and...
Everyone? No, we don't put it on YouTube.
Oh, this one? Not the newsletter, that's true. The newsletters don't go on YouTube.
Right, we don't... Yeah. We have a newsletter.
We have a newsletter.
It comes out every week.
Yes, once a week.
We'll talk about some of it on our podcast today.
Yes.
And we're going to try and bring these together so we're a little bit more merged and a little bit more focused. So one thing is supporting the other. We'll give it a try for a little bit. We're not going to not talk about the stuff that we want to talk about.
Right.
Also, but we will include some chat about our newsletter.
Yeah.
So you can get that newsletter by going to Substack and typing in Inelia Benz.
Yes.
In the search, you'll find it.
Yes.
Substack will have the newsletter and an audio version of the newsletter. We'll read it out. Yes. Well, Inelia will read it out.
Or Larry.
Probably.
One of us.
Probably she'll read it out. Because,
one of us will read it out.
It'll be read. So you can go there and subscribe there.
Indeed.
If you subscribe at ineliabenz.com, you'll also get it in your email. Yes. Just the same as you would at Substack. Just another way.
So the newsletters, make sure you get them because we have a whole series of really key newsletters coming up.
Yes.
For the next year, I think. So to get us over this.
Through this.
Split hump that we're going through right now.
Through the split hump?
The split, yes. The split hump.
Yeah, I was listening to I was fiddling with stuff.
Making it really hard for our expert audio person, Sandra, to edit all the little noises out of our podcast.
No, I wasn't doing that.
You were about to talk about the newsletter.
We were talking about the newsletters. We're talking about the fact that there's a hump that the newsletters are to help through. Mm-hmm. One of the things that brings it into awareness is the looking at 2022 video. I watched the replay of it. It's on Walk With Me Now.
The second hour of it.
The second hour of it and the first hour. The full 2 hours are on Walk With Me Now because they were a Walk With Me Now thing.
Offering, yes.
It was an offering at Walk With Me Now.
Many months ago, at the beginning of the year.
It was in December.
December last year.
Right. And the second hour was interesting and relevant to Walk With Me Now people, more so than
the
general people.
Public, yeah.
Right. But in the general one, I believe there was October, November, December, sort of a hump period of time.
Yes.
And so these newsletters are for the high frequency humans to assist them moving through the hump.
In a really high frequency way.
In a very happy high frequency way.
Happy, satisfied, connected and great. And includes a lot of tools. And some of the tools that are being included in this series of emails are sigils.
Right.
And these sigils are very powerful. Some of them I created, and the majority of them are actually have been around in our human collective for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And so these are really, really powerful sigils. And you can get them from the newsletter. And also there's going to be links on the articles at ineliabenz.com. And we're working on putting a sigil bundle together on the store that you can just sign in or sign up into the store and download. So there's going to be plenty of ways for you to get these sigils through the newsletter, Substack. Oh no, Substack, I don't think. We only just started that. So there's a couple of sigils that are not going to be there unless we start from the beginning there, which we might.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. The point is that I know there's a lot of talk about newsletters. This information is important. It's useful, it's helpful, and it's not just useful and helpful to you. You're not the only one. You're not alone. That means also share it with those who you're not alone with, right?
And funnily enough, as you implement these tools into your life, it's going to make life easier not just for yourself, but all of your loved ones as well.
Right.
And the people you work with that you might not love.
You might.
And you might, yeah. Or
I've heard of office romance before.
Oh, office romances. No, I thought you were talking about besties.
Okay.
Like people who make best friends at work. I've known people like that.
Yeah, I'm not saying they don't.
Yeah. So, anyways, it will totally affect everything to make it easier for everybody to step into their chosen reality and experiences.
Right.
And these are great tools. And the sigils in themselves empower that intent, and their power comes in from the human collective. Even the one that I created, which was to lift the veil of forgetfulness, that one is when I look at all the sigils, I find that one to be the most powerful, not because I created it, but because it's directly pulled in from the human collective to assist us in this moment in time. Right. That's why it couldn't come in before, like 10,000 years ago. It couldn't come in because that wasn't the time for it. But it came in now, right? It's freely available at the website, and it is included in the newsletters and the bundles and everything else. And the other sigils, there are things that we have been working on as a human collective for forever. There's the health one, and the love one, and the wealth one, abundance. So, these are things that us as humans have been working on forever. We want that in our lives. So those sigils I took from ancient runes and other locations like mystical alchemist areas and things like that too. So those are really interesting too. And all of them, I think that it's time for us, even if we're not an alchemist, we're not a magician, we're not a mystic, whatever's. Now they're available for you so that you can start using them in your daily life. Because these things are used in the world, right?
They're already being used, and you probably often don't even know that they're there, and they're being used by, in the power of others world.
Oh my gosh, definitely on that side. They use a lot of sigils and magic and stuff, so it's time for us to do it, even if we're not subscribed to or studied magic and stuff like that, right? Or alchemy. I think it's time. So that's why they're being released right now, and that's why we're working as a team to make it available into as many platforms as possible, so to make it easy for you to bring in. And this week's sigil, and today is August the 28th, so the sigil will come out on August the 29th of 2022. Mm-hmm. So you can go back in the records of the articles and stuff on our website to find it if that you're listening to this in the future.
Yeah, and you want to get caught up.
Yeah.
If you want to get caught up, you gotta go to here.
Yes. It's going to be the Love Sigil, and it's the attraction, the allowance of pulling in of love, like pure love. And it can be from the perspective of that perfect relationship. So we have it in our lives, mm-hmm. and that ensures that us as a couple are always bringing in that high frequency connection of love, and from each other, but also us as a couple from the environment and the world. And if you don't have a couple, you're not in a couple, you don't have a mate, then it will attract, open yourself to accept and see and perceive and attract a significant other into your life that is of that frequency and agrees with that dynamic of pure love and connection. And so far we have those, but we will probably put in more because I have created other sigils for different works that are relevant for the work that we're doing on the planet as light workers right now through this split. So subscribe to one of the newsletter areas and start receiving them and using them. Because if you just receive them, you don't open the email and you don't download it and don't use it, it's not going to do much good. So when you click on the download link for these sigils, it's going to be instructions, and the emails also have some instructions on how to use them. So make sure you use the tools, otherwise it's like having a hammer and not ever using it to build a house, or putting a nail in your wall. You never use it. So it's like, there's the nail, there's the hammer, but you never actually put them together and put a nail on your wall.
Can you describe, because sometimes, people are listening to a podcast instead of watching it. Mm-hmm. And, we do ours video now, so you can watch us. It's kind of fun in a way, I've found, to put the voice to a face. Because so often it doesn't seem like they match.
I know.
It's like, oh my God, I did not expect you to look like that.
Yeah, we've listened to some podcasters for months or years, and then we look at the video and go, oh, is that what you look like?
Is that what you look like? One of the funniest ones is... I can't remember his name, but when I listen to his podcast, I think of him, he's like kind of a little overweight, he has blonde curly hair, and he's a bit chubby, and I don't know, might have some deformity or something because he doesn't have a very clear voice, and his short, but it's totally the opposite.
What does he look like?
He's skinny, black hair, wearing hats and glasses, and it's like I did not recognize him, not one bit.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so funny. But the point is that since we're in a podcast, mm-hmm. and many people are just listening, can you describe what that sigil looks like?
Not really. I think the person has to go and be active and go and look at it because it's visual, and there's not really a way to describe it. It's a symbol. So all I can say is the Love Sigil integrates alchemy and ancient runes together to create a very, very powerful sigil tool that we can integrate into our lives and have that energy that is already there, that magic in this, that energy line of magic. Magic, what do we mean by magic? It's like we can't explain. But it's like the intent, the extreme intent of allowing this energy into our lives get activated. We don't have it printed out. We could put it out in the screen, and maybe Inelia can put it on edited little
box in the
corner,
Oh, yeah,
this is what it looks like.
It looks like that.
This is the video. You can...
I don't know how to make my fingers go there. Right there?
Oh, no, there one. No, he can put it right here.
Right here. Okay.
Yeah, right there.
Oof,
we're playing with the screen right now.
My hands are listening. But this hand is the wrong hand. That's so confusing.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, okay. That's interesting. Now, a couple of questions about sigils. One of them is, well, the sigil that has a long history and a lot of use to it, it feels a little to me like it has the power of those fellas that put a jar of rice in together with a qigong symbol in it or something, and the ones that has nothing in it, and then after a period of time, the one with nothing on it rots, and the one that has the qigong symbol or whatever, it doesn't rot. Is that similar with a sigil in that the power is brought in through the humans who agree to its power?
Yes. Yeah, it's very similar. I know that that experiment was also made with not just from the sigil, the Reiki sigil, but it was also done with a heart and the word love.
I've seen that too.
Yeah, and that worked, right? These sigils, the intent behind them are very clear, and the symbology has been used, so it is activated in the human collective, and you are part of the human collective. So that is your connection with it, and your agreement to bring it into the three-dimensional world is part of that. That's why I always say, print it out into the physical world, because having it on your screen is great, but it's not the same as having it in a physical form that you can touch, put it between your hands, breathe it in. It's very different. So that's an act that allows your higher self to tell your higher self to connect with your higher self, or your expanded awareness, your expanded self of the universe, so that you're all aligned in the same thing. But I've seen a lot of people, and we've talked about manifestation in the past and how to create a feeling board, and a person created a feeling board in their computer, and I said, really, you need to make a solid one. Just draw a piece of paper and just draw something on it, anything. And they refused to do it. And that's a firewall.
That's a firewall.
I mean, picking up a piece of paper and drawing it, what's hard with that? There's nothing hard with it, but they just refused to do it. Why? Because there was a firewall to bring it literally into the physical world. So that's part of it. With these sigils, it's not just about putting it on your screens or whatever. Yeah, I would put it on my whatever sigil I'm working with, or whatever images I'm working with. I will put it on my phone, because I look at it all the time, so it reminds you, right? As you look at your phone, you can be reminded of what you're working on. But that's not really enough. The act of drawing it yourself, right? Or the act of printing out the one that we send you and having it in physical form, those are powerful acts. It's very small act. It's like I'll press print, or I'll just spend 2 minutes drawing it. But it's very, very powerful, because it's telling yourself, your higher self, your expanded self, your universal self, the world, the human collective, okay, I'm ready to bring this into my life.
Sort of like I commit.
I commit, yes. Commitment.
Agree.
Strong.
I do.
Yeah.
So can you trace the symbol in the air? Does that, you utilize it? Does that empower it? I mean, not saying just do that, but as another thing, is it kind of like the Reiki, where they do a symbol of some kind?
I'm not really familiar. Yeah, I did one Reiki thing.
I never done any Reiki thing, but I think they have a symbol, and then you trace it.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really speak with authority around Reiki, so I can't really compare it. But I can tell you that tracing it with your finger,
how about your wand?
With your wand in the air, it is effective. Yes. However, it is still invisible and not really kind of tangible.
Right. So it's
less fleeting.
It's
right. Yes.
How about
like a reminder?
How about using it in the way, or using it on an edge?
Yes. So often using edge magic, and I don't know if you're familiar with edge magic, but edge magic is something I learned from my family. And it is basically, you find an edge in the universe and you put the intent in it. And the edge magic that I have found to be most powerful is on the edge of water. So in a river bank, like the sandy bank. The sand is awesome because you can draw things in it. on a beach. The beach one is really powerful. And with that edge magic, I would grab a stick, I would draw the sigil on the sand and allow the water to come in and out in the ocean. And to me, I would start counting. And then, depending on the number, I would know how fast that was going to manifest in my life.
Interesting.
Right? Or it's not gonna, because I had to leave.
Mm.
And then I come back the next day to the beach and it's still there. And then the day after that and it's still there. And the day after that it's still there. And eventually people walk on it and it just vanishes, but not by the water. The water didn't take it, right? The edge didn't take it. It didn't reach the edge, right? So I'm thinking, I wonder why that happened. So there's a couple of things you can do in that sense. To look at your firewalls or your real reasons for it, or what you really want. Or, for example, the Love Sigil. So let's say you did that on an edge on the sand and the water didn't take it. Does it mean that, it's not going to happen for you? Well, it could be that you're presently married to somebody who doesn't agree, whose marriage or relationship is not really coherent with that desire of pure love and really beautiful love connection. It's something else that they married you for, right? And a different dynamic that was present at both of your lives when you got together. And so in that perspective, it's free will. And you look at it and you see, oh, wow, I added my partner, but I didn't add them, right? I didn't actually say, hey, honey, let's do this together. And let's draw it together. And what do you think about that? Or even say, hey, honey, I've got this sigil. And I'm going to do I'm going to activate. What do you think? Right? What do you think?
Yeah, I try to use a little black magic, huh? That would be what that would be, is if you didn't include them, you just try to
do it behind their
back.
Yeah, it's not going to work. So that's what, that could be one.
Won't work for you.
Right. That could be one.
Could be.
Or that because you're a high frequency being and your prime priority is to embody your highest frequency, and even though you might have lots of programs running at the moment, that relationship is not conducive for your prime purpose. So right. You might not even know it at the time. And that actually happened to me in a previous relationship. I did a love magic sigil on the edge, and nothing happened. It's like, I think I even made sure the tide was coming in and it never reached that part of the beach. And it just went away and people trampled all over it and stuff. And I was like, and my partner at the time was like, what happened? Why it didn't work? It's like, look, the water's never reached it. And I'm looking at him going, yeah, I don't know. We have to relook at this. Let's look at what we actually want, And it wasn't meant to last, right? It wasn't meant to last.
It had a purpose.
It had a purpose for that moment, and it wasn't like a negative purpose at the time or anything. It was just not that. It wasn't meant to last. So it could be all sorts of reasons why when you do that, your sigil act, or it's like, oh, I'm going to print it today. And then you don't. And then, I'm going to print it again today. No, you don't. And then the next day you don't. And you don't. And you don't. But I want it. I'm going to put it on my phone. And you don't. And all these things, right? And they don't happen. So, or even you could be that, oh yeah, that's going to be my focus for this month. And then you print a different sigil for something else. And you do all the work for the other sigil, but not this one.
Yeah.
Right? So it could be that your higher self is giving you a message right now. It's not time for you to step into this type of relationship. Could be that. Or it could be not with that person. Or it could be the person that this is going to work with is not ready yet. Or it could be you have certain programs inside of you that, you're not ready. You're going to mess it up. So do that first. Do that one, that other sigil first. And then look at this one. So it could be all sorts of ways, but what we try to avoid is psychoanalyzing it. So we go for it, we make a decision, we print it out, we do it. Right? We do it. And then if we did get a ton of firewalls to stop us doing this, then we look at it and we go, okay, where's that energy line? Where am I not connecting with this energy? What's going on here? Because the process of integrating a sigil into your life is part of that sigil's power.
Mm.
Do you see? So the process and the way that you use it, the process that you do to use that sigil, that power from the human collective into your life, that process is also part of this power. Do you see? Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It's almost, it is not even almost, it totally is. It's like the whole analogy with the hammer and the nail, and you have them both, but you don't use them. They don't have any power.
Right, right.
By using them.
Mm-hmm. And with the loved one, I have found and have had the experience of other people also reporting that the love aspect, the pure love aspect,
Mm-hmm.
that energy comes into one's life from not just like romantic relationships, but suddenly you can start feeling that pure connection and love, not in a romantic way, like a really amazing love for your work and great friendships popping up from there, or from your kids, suddenly they become loving and huggy and whatever, and more thoughtful of you. Right?
That study about the dogs that have their dogs have tear ducts and their eyes water up.
Yeah.
That's scientific study found that, guess what? Your dog loves you, and when it sees you after you've been gone for 7 hours, he cries.
Yeah.
Or she.
Yeah.
Because they're so happy.
They're so happy.
And they love you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see it.
Then you see it.
Yeah,
it's
because
like, you
sometimes
recognize it.
What I have found is that people are love, and people are often in a lot of fields of love. People love them. Gaia loves you. Your pets love you. But more often the human collective loves you. But often the person doesn't see it. So sometimes the work of the sigil is you read an article that tells you the signs of love from a dog. And then you go to your dog and look at them, and they've got little tears, coming out of their eyes. And you go, oh, they really love me. Yes. They don't do that with just anyone, Mm-hmm. So you see it, you perceive it, you sense it, and you experience it. So sometimes that's the work that the sigil does for you, right? And then sometimes it's literally popping new people into your life, whether it's romantic relationships or whether it's you have a you have a baby and then suddenly you have this bundle of love, or you step into your workplace and then suddenly you make 10 best friends. Mm-hmm. And you hang out together and you're hiking together, or you step into a new tribe and everybody there is like, hi. It's so nice to see you. You go, wait, what's going on? You don't know me. Actually, we do. Because you're here.
You're here, so we know you.
Yeah. And if they not compatible, go, ah! And they run away and, leave the tribe, right?
Right.
But often that, the love comes in ways that you wouldn't even expect it, You wouldn't expect it. You might go passing by a tree and you hold on to the tree to get through a barrier of some sort, like a rock or something, so you hold on to the tree, and then suddenly you feel the tree's energy, frequency, expression of love coming up on your arm, and you go, ooh, what was that? And you go, oh, it's a love sigil, right? So there's lots of ways in which this sigil works, and it very much depends on your life circumstances, your readiness, and what you want. Right? Mm-hmm. What you want.
What you really, really want?
Yeah, what you really, really want.
And that's going to be related to your prime purpose, right?
Yes, it's going to be related to your prime purpose.
Right.
And it's going to be related also to your programming. So if you still have a lot of subconscious programs running, they might rule the roost, and you have to have a look-see. And that's when you do the why not now exercise, right? Or why didn't it work? Like with that previous relationship, going back and every day it was still there, and like, what's going on? We're looking at each other going,
awkward. I've seen that meme before.
Well, we can say that the love sigil is working beautifully in our lives. Wouldn't you say that, honey?
Beautifully. Yes.
Beautifully.
Beautifully.
Yeah. And we keep giving them away all the time. Here's one for you. Let me draw one for you. Here's one for you. And one for you. And one for you. Yeah. So sigils.
Yeah, I wanted to...
Ooh, can I just add a little bit more about something about sigils just before we more? I would say go to
and I was going to say,
go to
this is the third
go to,
time. Go to ibensacademy.com. Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. Say it.
Go to ibensacademy.com and subscribe to the newsletter there, because I'm working with the team on a workshop on power objects.
Ooh.
And
that's a workshop?
Yes.
At iBenz Academy?
Yes.
So
and
you can make your
sigils
own...
are part of that.
You can make your own power objects and sigils?
Yes. That when the first power object that is already that part's already been recorded.
Oh, nice.
Is the use of alchemy, which is very sigil oriented. Right? Okay. Symbology oriented. So that one is already ready. So record is getting edited and everything right now. So make sure to do that. And then there's other power objects, of course, that I'm teaching are from the lineages that I'm connected with directly. And I often just mix everything together. Mm-hmm. But in this case, I'm teaching people the methodologies for each, and then they can pick and choose what bits to integrate into their lives. So one of them is the alchemy, which has the sigil on it. Another one is a power object from the Native American lineage that I carry, and from the Native American traditions that I learned from my family. And the third one is a crystal magic, or like basically a power object from using crystals. It's more like the lineage of the gypsies and the European magic. So although alchemy is also a European, North African from origin, but this one is to do with brought in from the crystal magic and what we might think about that. If you think about, so we're going to create a power object made out of crystals and metals and other objects and things that are going to go into it, and so there's 3 power objects that I'm going to teach you how to make in that workshop. And the very first one is all about it creates and uses a sigil, and the sigil that we use there is for wealth and abundance, and it is actually one of the ancient sigils that are in the human collective and have been in the human collective for thousands of years. So, yeah.
Pretty excellent.
All right. What was the third point you wanted to talk about?
Well, last week we talked about prime purpose, and this week we've said it several times, but we haven't actually said it.
Okay. Go ahead and say it.
It's there. It's there.
It's there.
Your prime purpose, your main and sole reason for agreeing to come to this planet at this time.
Yes.
The reasons you incarnated.
Yes.
Your prime purpose, the one purpose that not overrules, but is the prime reason.
Yes.
All the other ones, secondary to support it, or not interfere with it, but secondary to it, and so long they don't distract from it.
Right.
So prime purpose. 2, embody and express your true nature, true frequency.
Correct. And
have it reflected back to you by the universe, in the universe, of the universe, the universe. See, I get that word part mixed up a little bit. Yeah. And the physical universe.
Yes.
So embody your true nature and frequency and have it reflected back to you in this physical universe.
Yes.
That's your prime purpose.
Yeah, allowing it to be reflected back, because it will if you let it.
It's already kind of reflecting,
it does,
but often, and most of us have programs in between the thing, because we didn't incarnate with that prime purpose in that place already. We incarnated into that purpose in the middle of a split.
Yes, into like that paradigm.
And a light dark paradigm shifting. And so our experience of what we're seeing reflects what
We
we were born
integrated.
into,
Yeah.
not necessarily what we're born for, right?
Yes.
Okay. So embodying that true frequency, that true high frequency nature, and having it reflected back to us. That's our purpose.
Yes. And part of that reflection, we can put an intent and that acknowledgement into the physical universe by bringing those symbols into the physical universe in our lives. And that's why I feel that sigils are important, they are powerful, and we use them in our lives quite a lot, actually.
I wonder if we can make a prime purpose sigil, or prime purpose power object, or prime purpose something physical.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, we can. Well, I think that the lifting of the veil of forgetfulness sigil is very close.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's very close. And that's, to me, it's like just very powerful. But yeah, I think that we can totally create one we can bring in that other one.
Of prime purpose.
Yeah, the
embodiment of prime purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that would be an
excellent
exercise.
Excellent one. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Good plan.
All right. Now let's not just talk about it. Let's do it.
Do it. Do it.
We did a little bit of I did a abundance power object. You taught me how to make one.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea what was going to come,
Yes.
And then when I was finished, I looked, I was like, what? It's a fish.
It's a fish, yeah.
With a puppy dog tail.
It's a fish with a puppy dog tail, yes.
It's like holy mackerel. Yeah, that's holy mackerel, but it wasn't a mackerel. That really surprised me.
Yeah.
Because it stepped out of me way.
Yeah.
You know how that is when you step out of me way and allow me to be.
Yes.
And then do.
Yeah.
And then look, what did me do?
Right.
Oh, jeez. Me made a fish.
Yes. Which is very accurate because to you, in the majority of your adult life, wealth meant catching fish.
Well, fish were my allies and wealth.
Exactly. So that symbology, that power came through, and the Fish Collective supports you in that. And it's a symbol, right? Mm-hmm. It's a power object. So it's powerful already. Right. Within your own life, it's extremely powerful. And having it there doesn't mean you have to carry on fishing. Doesn't mean that. Or stop fishing. It doesn't mean that.
It doesn't no.
It's not even related to fishing anymore, but it's because it's that symbol. I have abundance here in my life, and this is the power object that connects with it, that relates to it, that allows it into my field.
Right. That's how I felt about it too. So like, oh, go fishing. No. It was here. This is it.
Yeah.
This is how and what represents it.
Right.
And abundance is more than, dollars I remember when I was making it, I had the sense to put dollars on it or something like that. And it was like, no, that
don't
wasn't
limit
it.
yourself to that.
It's like, that's not your actual expression of abundance is dollar signs. It could be a component of it, but it's not
all of it.
Right.
It's not
so
all of it.
I remember when I did a abundance sigil.
Wait. Can we just talk about that a little bit? I want to talk about that a little bit more because often when we say these things, people hear money is not abundance, therefore I'm not going to allow money in my life. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that money is not the only expression of abundance. Most certainly is an expression of abundance, but not all of it. Not everything. So yes, indeed, allow money into your life because you have a lot of power to do then, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff you can do with money. Lots and lots. So yes, it is part of abundance in our present expression. In 2022, 23, 24, 24, probably next 30 years. Yes, allow it in.
Okay.
However, it's not the only expression of abundance. So by allowing it to exist, plus also allowing abundance to express in other ways, we open our lives for all sorts of beautiful, abundant things, because it was high frequency abundance. So anyway, so yes, we say yes to a ton of money so we can do tons of projects, and also, or buy lots of nice cars, or whatever it is that we want, right? Abundance. Not limited or made into judgment, but also lots of other allowance. So for example, abundance. We have an abundance of blackberries. We have an abundance of all sorts of things, right?
We had
Abundance
abundance
of love.
of sockeye this year.
Yeah. Abundance of sockeye. That
Abundance
turned
of
into
canning
money.
jars.
Canning jars.
We didn't
yes.
get money from our sockeye.
Oh no, we didn't. That's right. So we have an abundance of canned fish for the rest of the year. Although we're eating it very quickly. It's so yummy.
Yes.
But that's okay because abundance is not limitation, right? So it's not the only yummy thing we're attracting.
waiting and attracting an abundance of fresh peaches to put in our jars.
Yes.
Yum,
Yes,
yum, yum.
yum,
Can't
yum,
wait.
yum,
Maybe
yum.
peaches and blackberries together.
Not together. They have to go into separate jars.
Well, we could try it. Okay, we won't try it. Some people like their things in their compartments.
So you grab your jar of blackberries and you grab your jar of peaches that you created and you mix them in a bowl.
Then you're fine.
And then you're fine.
Okay.
But they're very different natured fruits. So they're not actually compatible to conserve in the same jar. They mess each other up.
Okay. I'll listen, trust me. I'm not going to put no blackberries in there.
What was that?
Didn't know.
What?
That was a big thing. I am a tend to experimenter type person, and
and then he tries it on other people.
Then I try it out on other people to see if it actually was good or not.
Yes.
I'll sometimes like it, but not all the time.
Right. The other day he cooked some fish. He wasn't sure whether it was still good.
I don't know if this is great or not.
So he says, "Hey, Inelia, this is yummy fish. It's really good." And I smelled it. I knew who he was doing. I smelled it. Oh, it's good actually. So I had to,
and then it's like,
it's yummy.
Yummy.
Oh, okay.
I'll have some.
I'll have some. You thought I didn't know, didn't you?
It was good though. That was black cod. We had some black cod.
Yeah, it's really good.
Black cod is also known as butterfish.
Butterfish.
Because its texture is very, very soft
Buttery.
like butter, and it's very, very rich. One of the best fishes.
It was really yummy, actually. It's very good.
I know.
Very abundance of yummy stuff.
Yes.
Abundance of friends. Abundance of... We've had a lot of abundance of people.
We're working on it.
We are.
We had someone come.
Lone wolves is really hard. You know. To have the abundance in people. We had a walk with me in our visit the other day.
And it went splendid. I gotta say it went splendid.
She's so awesome.
Yeah, because
it was so awesome to have her here, and she's interested.
She brought yummy deliciousnesses.
All the things, yes. And some not so delicious thingies. And she didn't mind that we went ugh and spat it out.
Roosters loved it.
Yeah.
Roosters loved it.
She didn't mind at all.
No, she didn't mind. I mean, when you bring 10 different flavors, you can't expect everyone to like every flavor,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. And the yummy stuff, we'll go, yum.
I'll take that.
And one of them, she brought a box of olives.
Oh yeah, the olives are fun.
So fun. They're so powerfully strong. I put them in my mouth and started coughing like crazy when she was trying to tell a story. And she was like, "Oh no, this is fine. It's fine. It's just a very strong flavor I'm not used to." Cough, like I was choking or something.
I remember you were sharing them with Brett, and you ate one and your face goes all pinched up. He's like, "Oh, are they bad? Are they bad?" It's like, "No, they're really good."
Yes, they're very strong. And he says, "Do you like them? Do you like that flavor?" "No, I don't."
But I love them.
I like the feeling it gives you. Yeah, it's so weird. It's not an unpleasant feeling. It's like the flavor is so powerful. I'm not used to it. I think it takes over. It takes over, huh? But it takes over, and it gives you a really kind of good reaction to your body. It's not a nasty flavor. It's just a very powerful flavor. And I'm not a powerful flavor type person regularly, but like one olive a day or something just to stimulate that powerful flavor aspect of life. Yeah. It was really cool. So when he said, "Do you like the flavor?" "No, I don't, but it's got something else. I like the effect that it has in my physical body, right?"
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to have her visit and walk with me now in person. It's nice. Oh, I think somebody else is coming too from Walk With Me Now.
When?
Yeah.
When?
I don't know. Maybe today.
Ooh.
Or maybe next week. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah.
But it's nice with Walk With Me Now because they're part of your tribe, right?
Yeah.
And when they show up, it's like, yeah, you're part of our tribe. We know. You know
Yeah.
who we are. We know who you are. We're tribe members. And it takes a little while for the physical bodies to recognize each other, like about 32 seconds.
32 seconds?
2 seconds to 30
2
seconds, somewhere in
to
there.
do what?
For your bodies to recognize each other as synchronistically frequencies.
Oh, yeah, the frequency. You know, it's like the other day we went to a different gathering and it was not good to me. It was grating and unpleasant and it was not good at all, even though I prepared myself beforehand because I knew it was going to be a little bit grating. It was not good, you know, and it was uncomfortable in every sense of the word. And then we kind of said, okay, we got enough and we left. And that is the opposite of what happens with people from Walk With Me Now. And people can say whatever they want, but it's true. It's like, you know, it's like an openness and it's really good to
You're
visit
kind of
with
up
each
to
other.
speed with each other. You don't have to go through the whole did you or did you not XYZ. And they're like, well, of course not. You don't even have to ask that. It's like, we know you didn't.
Or are you one of those?
Or are you one of those people? Or you got a mask on or not or whatever. You don't have to have the conversation.
No,
it's
not
like,
even
you can skip to the interesting parts.
Yeah.
The high frequency parts. The, wow, what is this all about?
Yes. Child olive.
Let me try that thing you brought. Those are so good. Can I have another?
And I did too.
And you did.
And I took some more.
That was crazy.
Yeah, the watermelon was so delicious too. I think somebody else brought the watermelon. But...
And it was funny too, the chocolate, because we have
the chocolate.
We have a canary in the coal mine who will not tolerate touch anything that is without, full inspection.
Yes.
Is that cacao? What is that? What is that? Organic or what is that?
Organic?
Is that organic? How about did they? He follows all of those things. It's very, very, very particular.
Yes, and I wait for him to give his report, and then I
and
know whether to eat it or
okay.
not.
Yeah. He's really good at that.
Yeah.
So he's seen the chocolate and he jumped on it. It's like, oh, yum. Yes. This is
Open
okay.
it.
It's gone.
Yes.
I don't know where that chocolate went.
I don't know. It vanished. I don't know what happened to it. But it's gone.
Yeah.
I went to have a bit more. It's like, yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, so that's the kind of thing. It's like you're already up to speed.
Yep. And when we do things that are not like supportive of high frequency, like instead of that beautiful chocolate, how we have pinwheels or, chocolate from the store that's GMO and full of nasty. Full disclosure, this is bad for you. Yum, 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 yum. But then, it's like we're not overdosed on bad for you, so it will balance, like, your tolerance level. You have to be, like, street smart about your tolerance level.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if I take it, am I going to be, like, wiped out for a month? Is it that severe? No, don't do that. Is this going to wipe me out for 5 minutes?
Maybe overnight.
For 5. I might feel a little bit,
Yeah.
I'll be over it in a little while. It's okay.
Yeah.
You evaluate.
Yeah, you do. And it's very personal what your body's...
at the time of the day, what you're going to do tomorrow.
Right. And then what I do is, okay, I know and sense something is going to be like discomfort, full of discomfort for me. Like I'll get nauseous or whatever. And I time it so that if I have that, then I don't have the other thing. Right?
Yeah, you don't like stack them.
Don't stack them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know ice cream makes me ill, but I love ice cream. So I make sure it's organic most of the time, not always, but so yeah, like that, for example, if I'm feeling really good and I haven't had any ice cream or other things that upset my tummy for a while, then I can have store-bought, just regular ice cream with all the GMOs in it and whatever's, and not get too sick, right? I'll get nauseous for 3 or 4 hours and then it passes. But if I'm already nauseous, then I won't have that because it's not gonna be any good. If I go on ahead and have like organic and high frequency ice cream, then I'll get nauseous still because I'm intolerant to actually the cow products.
Pasteurized milk, probably.
Yeah, pasteurized milk. But it doesn't last for 3 hours, the nausea, right? And I can actually have a little bit more, or even go to a meeting that has low frequency people in it, or whatever, and I won't be too highly negatively affected. So I know my stack level, you know?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. And then sometimes my subconscious mind will overindulge in the low frequency stuff or the stuff that's not compatible with me. And I'll get really sick, and that stops me from doing the other part, like go and meet low frequency people or whatever. Yeah. So that part's
like a
interesting.
self-regulating.
Yeah, self-regulating. Yeah. Yeah, self-regulating.
Like
And we
yesterday,
all do
remember
that.
we were looking for some of that. Everywhere that it existed was sold out.
Yeah. The ice cream.
Yeah, the ice cream you were after.
Yeah, I wanted ice cream. Yeah.
And the treats that I bought you, those were not.
They were
compatible.
all not compatible at all.
And the
Those were like sick for a week treats, you know?
Threw it into the back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe not buy those anymore.
Sometimes, I gotta weigh time against
sometimes your frequency's low and you grab the low frequency stuff.
No, this was the highest of the low.
Yeah.
Here's the palette. Here's the highest of the low. How about that? Nope. Okay, fine. Don't have to eat it. But you have the ability to say no.
Yes.
You can't even say no if I don't get it.
That's right. You can still express your love by saying, "Look at all the goodies I got you."
And then you can dig through the pile and say,
"Rubbish,
garbage, poison, terrible. You suck at it."
Yes. And you get upset because your ego gets upset.
Yeah, but it's not me. It's the store, honey. I looked through the whole store. This is the best of the worst.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so going back to sigils.
Going back to sigils. Alrighty.
So you can stack things the other way too. You can stack things going positive. So we looked at the stacking of the negative stuff and the stuff that makes you sick, right? And how we use those things. But also you can stack positive things and positive intentions and positive decisions in your life to make them more powerful. So when we're talking about the abundance sigil, then you made an abundance power object as well.
Speaking of which, before we go to past that, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've been wanting to ask this question since we brought it up. Am I allowed to show anybody that? Can I show a picture of it?
No.
Do I gotta hide it from everybody? Yeah. Except for certain people?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So, and I talk about this, funnily enough, in the workshop of Power Objects workshop. So there's two types of power objects. One is a public that I teach about. One of them is a public power object, and that power object you can actually show everybody.
Probably because they partly power it, like a sigil?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're also designed in a way, and they're powerful enough already in a way that doesn't allow for those individuals who want to stop you from being powerful to affect it.
Okay.
So even if somebody who is against you becoming powerful in a certain way, like abundance or love or whatever, they look at it and they go, I don't want them to have it. That doesn't affect the power object.
Okay.
But there's the other power objects that come in just for you and your most closest allies. And that power object you keep under wraps. You don't show it around.
That's the kind that goes in a black bag.
Yeah, like a velvety bag, and you put it in, and you bring it out when you're doing your altered states of awareness.
Like the rattle. Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of them are public rattles and some of them are not.
Exactly. Okay. With the Native American traditions, you have different rattles. One of them is public, and everybody can touch it, and whatever, and you use it in public events. But even then, some people will put it away very, very, so that other people can touch it. But others, you just do it when you and the universe,
when you're doing its purpose with those that its purpose is for. Exactly. They're the only ones that acknowledge it, and oftentimes they're not even looking at it.
They wouldn't look at it, right?
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So yeah, there's different levels of power objects and the different things that you can do with a power object, and share a power object. I remember many months ago, I think it was either an article or a podcast with this guy who was a magician. And he put it into words really well, what we're talking right now. He said something in the nature of, he laughs when he sees a group of magicians or so-called people wanting to use magic when they announce that they're doing a magical act to the world. He laughs because he says, if you want that magical act to work, you don't show it to the world. You just show it to your allies. Because if you show it to your world, you can also show it to the people who don't want you to be powerful, and they don't want that magical act to come to fruition.
I see.
And they can do a magical act to counteract it, and they are able, and they're powerful over it because you made it public. So you make it public domain, they're part of that public. So they have power over it. So I like the way he explained it in those terms. And with power bridge that we do, it's the same. So that's why in the class I teach about how certain symbols and sigils and whatevers, and the object itself, one of them is public. You can put it up on your wall or on your website or, on
your car,
on
or
your
magnet.
car, wherever. And the other ones, if you look at it, you can't even see the magical bits in it. You can't see the sigils in it because they're hidden. And then you don't actually go around showing people this object. You keep it in your pocket, or you keep it in your purse, or you keep it in a little velvet bag in your drawer with magical objects, right? So, or you put it in a little pouch and you have it inside of your shirt, right? So this is the difference. That's the difference.
Got it.
Yeah. And so when I was teaching one of my kids to make his first magical object in the Native American tradition, one of the things that he did on the little pouch, the pouch he made out of cloth, was to put protection sigils all around the outside and the inside of the actual cloth that held his power objects. Right? So he had all sorts of, because it's same lineages that I have. Right? Alchemist, magical, Native American. So he used all of those lineages and to create his little medicine bag. His first one, because he's from a medicine and wisdom keeper lineage from the Native American side.
Got it.
So and what was really most interesting was that I told him, okay, this is what you do with your bag. And he knew why. He instinctively knew why we did that. So that was really fascinating, right? So with that particular object you created, that's why it's not a good idea for you to share it, because it's your personal power object. It's you created, you brought it in through your lineage and your life and your wisdom. And it's very personal to you and your closest allies, the other mystics that you work with, right? So that's why it stays within that group only.
Got it.
But you can create a different one, and we have created a different one that goes out to the public and the newsletter and this website. That abundance sigil and wealth abundance sigil, that is already ancient, but it's a rendition and a reuse of that sigil that you can integrate into your life, and we show you how to integrate it into your life. And you make that stack. So you have your vision board, you have your feeling board, you have your stack building, you have your sigil, you have your intent, you have your magical acts, you have your physical actions to bring that forth into your life. Over and over, every day you stack something more on it. And eventually your higher self, your expanded self, the human collective gets the message, and boom, you integrate that into your life. Whether it's love, health, awakening,
Prime purpose,
love, all these things,
dropping
right?
the sigil, dropping the veil of forgetfulness, things like that.
So you stack them up.
Okay, that's a good idea. That's a nice way to think of it.
Yeah. And I do the love, the wealth, and the health. Always I do work around this, because those are, as a physical entity, as a person, those are usually up there in our list of
important or biggest obstacles.
Yeah. They're right up there, so that's why I do a lot of work, and I do a lot of tools and a lot of teaching around those 3 areas, because they're up there for us. Really important stuff.
Perfect. I think you've done it.
You've done it?
I think you've done it.
I think you've done it.
You've done it, honey.
You've done it, honey.
You've done a good stack.
Yes.
Okay. I love you.
I love you too.
See you later.
Bye.